Hello bakers, I'm back again with another tip, and this tip is how to frost an actual dog cake. Now, in my last video, I showed you how to make a cupcake swirl, and in this one, I saved the frosting for my cupcake swirl, and all I'm gonna really do is just add a little more water to it and stir it so you can see a good consistency to frost a cake. I'm going to actually explain I'm going to do it a little bit backwards. I'm going to show you a good consistency for the cake itself, and then I'm going to show you a good crumb coat consistency. But the first one I'm going to show you, because my frosting's already in the bowl, I'm going to add just a quarter more teaspoon of water, and I'm going to mix it up, and I'm going to see if that's thin enough for frosting a cake, okay? And I'll explain the crumb coat afterwards in a second. Okay, so this is a little on the thicker side, but I can always add a quarter teaspoon more water, but I want to show you. Yeah, so I'll show you three different consistencies. So this one, I'm just going to use my spatula. I don't have a cake to decorate, but I want to show you this because this is a good consistency for what I would call a normal cake. So if you went to the store and took, and this is for humans obviously, but if you went to the store and you bought a tub of frosting, this would be that consistency. So that is actually helpful to know, because the next one I'm going to show you is a little bit thinner, and the little thinner one will give you a consistency that would make a smoother cake frosting, because a lot of people like a smoother look to their frosting, and that's fine too. So I'm just going to take a quarter more teaspoon of water, and I threw it right in there, and I'm going to go ahead and mix this. And by the way, with the frosting of a cake, you can use a spoon. The last video, in order to get a cupcake swirl, you really do want the hand mixer to really lift it up and add some air into it. This one is for a smoother frosted cake, and it's going to be kind of hard to see the difference, but I think I'll put a little bit more water in, just a little bit, like almost an eighth of a teaspoon instead of the full quarter. You got to remember, I'm not using I probably have about a quarter cup frosting left in my bowl from my previous video. So if you're doing this with a half a cup, you're going to add probably a teaspoon more water, not an eighth, just so you know. Okay. So this is actually a good consistency if you want it to dry a little bit smoother after it dries on your cake. It'll be a little bit smoother for you. And as you can tell, let me lift this up a little bit so you can see it. Let me prop my spoon over here so I don't accidentally throw it out of the bowl. You can see it just is a little bit more, it drops right back into itself a little bit. And the other one that I showed you for the normal, like if you went and bought a tub of frosting consistency, that would work nice if you want to write happy birthday on top of your birthday cake. If you want to use frosting and do like the little flower border around a cake, definitely check out the frosting video I just did before this video about cupcake swirls, because that's the same consistency you'd want to use if you want to add like a little border with some piping details. Now, let me tell you a little bit about a crumb coat. So crumb coat is when you have a cake and you bake it and it has a lot of crumbs, right? A lot of you already know this, but some of you might not. You might be new to making cakes. So what I'm going to do is I just added a half a teaspoon. I want this frosting to be very thin now, because with a crumb coat, you're just going to take a really thin coating of frosting and you're going to coat your cake. You're gonna let it set for about an hour or two so it hardens up for you, and then you're gonna add your real, like, normal layer of frosting on top, just like you would with a human cake. I'm just letting you know that just in case you don't normally decorate human cakes. Okay, so all I did was I'm gonna add water, and I could even add a little more water to this. I just want a really thin consistency, and that's all you do. So you make it really thin, like almost transparent, so you're not using a lot of frosting up as well. And then you just take your little cake spatula, do your crumb coating, and then you just make up a whole different batch of frosting for the rest of it. I hope this helps. We'll see you in the next tip video.